I have an idea.
This is my very special desert property, the one that I was not going to build a garden on this year, but after receiving some beautiful starts and seeds from a generous neighbor, a lot of time went into building, digging, and watering a garden, among so many other ongoing projects.
Can you see the vision?
While the garden has brought us so much joy, it also takes a lot of time to tend every single day, and if you know me, you know that I don't exactly like being glued to any one location. So with some upcoming travel, I needed to figure out a simple, off-grid DIY solution to irrigate this garden for a few weeks away.
I have no idea if this is going to work out. The plan really makes sense in my brain. Oh my gosh, a screw. I need to be careful with these. I am not here full time, and I love to travel and bounce around the area and explore. And right now, having a garden that I need to water for like an hour every morning, not super conducive to the lifestyle that I love. So I'm gonna try to fix that.
This project began with an idea and a whole lot of YouTube videos and a very I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out along the way attitude. When I start projects like this, I often feel a lot of overwhelm.
This is an automatic DC water pump. Okay, the electrical part is going to be tricky.
But I've learned over the years that overwhelm just comes from a lack of knowledge. So giving myself time to really understand and learn slowly allows that overwhelm to be replaced with confidence.
This might not work.
Hopefully.
Okay, we'll just keep trying it. 1/2 inch. Okay. Hi, sweetie.
Hi. How are you?
You guys. Okay. What's going on? Are we all just making out? I have a lot of questions. This and this, I just unburied from the back of the truck, and these were parts to my cistern that I took off so that Chris and I could move the cistern. So basically this is just the big valve, the big shutoff valve. I remember taking this off and there being a gasket here and thinking to myself, okay, I'm gonna put this gasket in a really safe spot so that I don't forget it. And now I don't remember where I put it. I gathered all of the things and brought them out here because I think what I need to do is just lay everything out to visualize it. From my cistern, I need this to go to a hose connection. So what I think I'm gonna do is use this extra hose as like the main line. Then my timer can go in here. Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. So I want the female hose connection to be coming off of my cistern. Then I will cut my hose, so then the water pump will be cut in the middle of that hose. I'm going to need to create fittings that drop from 1 inch to 1/2 inch, and then 1/2 inch back up to 1 inch. Male hose connection to the timer. So coming off of the timer, I think I'm gonna want to do this 1/2 inch tubing. Yeah, and then the hoses, and then those will be my irrigation hoses. As long as all of this goes smoothly, which I am not planning on that being the case, the next troubleshooting is getting these are 16 gauge wires. I need to connect these to like a DC input. I don't really know how to do that though. I don't really know how to do anything that I ever do, and I just tend to figure it out. So just a reminder, you don't actually have to know what you're doing to learn how to do what you want to do. So I have a friend at the hardware store, his name's Tori, and he has been just a huge help. He helped a lot with like the well connections, and so I'm just like crossing my fingers that he's there today because he's so knowledgeable when it comes to like plumbing and this kind of stuff. This is kind of cool, so I wanted to share, and I think that this might be what I go with. So I am very much piecing this system together in a way that makes sense, to just like using the things that I have. I searched 16 AUG 12 volt USB open end cable, and I found this, and I think that this might work perfectly. So this is a 16 AUG cigarette lighter cable, and what's cool is it even says that customers who bought this item also often bought a little Bluetti power station.
This is an extra cool project for me because it feels like a neat full circle moment. Also, I want to give a huge thanks to Bluetti for supporting all that I do on my channel and for sponsoring this video. I have relied so heavily on my AC240 this year, especially when it came to water, which is arguably the most important thing when living in the desert. My AC240 is what powered the well pump for the very first time. And what I used every morning thereafter to fill the water bladder that we used to water the garden. And still months later, now this is the rugged power source that I've designed this simple irrigation system around.
Okay, I think I got what I needed for the pump. I hope this works. Because I won't have any time before I have to leave if these things don't work. How stressful. How exciting. I got the goods. Tori helped me so much. All right, so I have, this is the on-off, like the main valve. These three connections will come together to attach to my hose. Once I get this on and this attached, I'll be able to turn this off and start filling my cistern. I don't know how many gallons my Bluetti can pump. I'm not really sure, so I guess we'll find that out too. I'm gonna put these together first. Okay. Oh man, the flies are getting me so bad. Whenever it's about to rain, they get really nasty. Okay, I think that's about as good as I can get it. In here. I think what I want to do is just check water in general. Can water flow through that without leaking? Can it flow well? Yeah. Because if that can't work, then, well, then none of it can work. Okay. Whatever. Going in. Let's turn the well pump on. All right, we're at 66%. It was pretty low this morning, but I've been charging it with my 200-watt solar panel for a few hours. It's not even facing the sun anymore. 66%, that'll give like a decent amount. As of right now, I exclusively power my pump off of my AC240 because it's just like the best option that I have right now, and I'll probably continue doing that until I have like solar panels set up with like a pressure system and everything, but that won't be for a long time.
During this initial test, I was less than a week out of when I needed to leave the property. So this initial loading test was really important for me to ease my anxiety, to know that I had enough time to fill my cistern. So during this test with 66% and the well pump drawing over 800 watts consistently, my Bluetti lasted about 40 minutes and it pumped over 100 gallons of water into my cistern.
Hey, look at that!
And what's extra cool about this is that I was able to check in on the status of my AC240 while I was putzing on other things, thanks to the online app with all of the important info.
This came with the property, which I'm so grateful for because these are extremely expensive now. Something that I get all the time is that it was ridiculous that I moved it from the top part of my property to the lower part of my property. And maybe in theory, because you could use gravity irrigation, sure. But for me to set up gravity fed irrigation, first of all, the top part of the property versus the lower part, it is very far away from each other. So my driveway is like 3/4 of a mile. And for me to make my well pump work to get all the water up there, hoses, all the materials for that to happen, and then hoses all the way back down, just for a gravity fed system that is more difficult to like regulate, basically, that just makes no sense. It truly makes no sense when I can have this near my well pump, fill it up, and then just use like a very simple, cheap pump to bring it into my garden, which is like 30 yards away. This makes a lot more sense for what I want to do, what my goals are. Something that I always want to say when people tell me what I should and shouldn't do is like, when you get your property, when you have your raw land, you can set it up however you want to. You can watch these videos and think, wow, Linnea is so dumb for doing that. So when you get in that position, you can go and do whatever you want on your own land. But most of the things that I do, or most of the decisions I make, I have thought about, or I have asked neighbors about, and it's just like what makes the most sense for my situation. Okay, while that fills, I am going to work on this. It has the arrows for the flow of water. This is the little filter that I'll thread on here. This was definitely a 5/8 inch hose. Oh well. Tori even said, "Are you sure it's 3/4 inch?" And I said, "Yeah." It's not, it's 5/8. But we're doing it. Perfect. Well, not perfect. Perfect would be actually having a 3/4 inch hose and it coming all the way up to here. But I think this will be all right.
Cistern water will be coming through the pump into the little filter and continue through down the hose with the flow dictated by the timer on the other end. But it does need power, which is what these two 16 auger wires are for.
Good morning. Today is the day where I get to put all the final little pieces together for the irrigation system and see if it all works. I spent the last 3 days or so charging my AC240, filling the cistern, charging my 240, filling the cistern, and at this point it's almost halfway full, and we had really cloudy days as well. But halfway for that cistern is about 900 gallons, so that's going to last a very long time. And luckily it has been raining every afternoon and I haven't needed to water the garden. But the hot weather starts tomorrow, so this is perfect timing. Also, a few weeks ago you guys watched me eat local apricots and then attempt to start them from seed. And about 2 days ago I planted them. So I now have 2 little leaves that have popped up, and I believe that there are 3 or 4 more that I planted here. They had been in my refrigerator for a few weeks, and then once they started to sprout, I put them in these little planters. But this morning when I checked on them, I found that a little mouse had pulled up one of my seeds and eaten it. I'm glad they only did it to one, unless they did it to this one too. Maybe they got 2 of them. So anyway, I have to keep them safe now. But if I can keep these alive all winter, I might be able to plant them next spring.
one of the really exciting things that I was able to finish while waiting for my little electrical setup. Oh, I thought I heard a rattlesnake, but it's Chris blowing up his tires. Was my garden fence. Where we stand today is a full cistern. The cistern connecting to a hose, and then my 12-volt DC automatic water pump is installed in the middle of the hose. So now what I'm going to be working on is the garden section, and that starts with my timer. Here is the timer that I went with, and I'll make sure to link everything down below. So this has a little filter here, and this will be connected here to my hose. Da, 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 da. For this timer, these threads are created to attach hoses, but I want to go right to my irrigation hose. So I'll be putting 2 of these double female connections on, and this will take it from the hose thread to a standard thread, which will then allow me to put this little piece on and size it down to my 1/2-inch irrigation. Check that out. Man, I'm curious if I should set up. Okay, this is what happens when I do projects. I realize that I could do more than what I had planned, and then my projects get like doubly involved, extra difficult. But I'm not doing that this time. Both of these are going to be going to the garden. Yep. I bought this irrigation kit off of Amazon. I'll link it below. Here are my instructions. Totally soaked. So there's 40 feet of that. Oh shit. Okay. So we have end plugs, fan-shaped emitter. Oh, wait a second. Oh, the red ones are the drip emitter. The blue ones are like a sprinkler. This will be attached here. My pump can go about here. Change of plans.
I swim to you on the meridian, racing the waves of cerulean.
Now, timer can be closer to the garden, which will be amazing. Perfect.
Wait for me, you're way too far away from me.
This will live here.
Why did you ever let me leave? Why did you let me roll?
That 1/2-inch irrigation tube is just going through the main 2 parts of my garden, and this little kit comes with plugs. This isn't the right one. Before I do any of the fittings that will actually water the garden, I'm putting these plugs on because that is something that I would forget. These are actually really fun. That is so nice and simple. That side I think is good. Okay, so now I'm gonna be attaching these. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. And then I'll go, I guess, where I want to go with that.
Since being on the property, you've almost exclusively seen me charging my AC 240 with the 200 watt solar panel, but when I am on the road, I love to charge it while my van is running or via AC outlets when it can charge up to 80% in like 45 minutes.
This is the very last step, and I hope that this works exactly the way I want it to.
Till I get to you, everything's so
Now, soldering is always the best option. This is what I'm doing for now. And I have this 12 volt on the end. It's connected to my water pump. I think I'm ready to test it. Okay, turn it on. Okay, so this, I'm gonna turn the water on. Okay, water's going. All right, I need to set the clock. It is 12:08. Okay, so it's supposed to go in 4 minutes, so I need to turn the pump on. Pump is gonna turn on. So with the pump running, it's drawing 100 watts. Oh, hey, it stopped. There's a little leak in the hose. I just tightened that up, so that should be good. It looks like, so it looks as though it's primed to the timer, and the timer should go off any second, and then we'll see how it goes. Okay, this is going, it's working! Okay, so the timer went off. It made a really big noise. Oh my gosh, it's working. It's working. Okay, I have to go in there now and just set all of the things to the right. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So station 2, so this side of the garden should start in 3 minutes, and then I can make sure all of these are solid. It's going. Oh, we're getting sprayed. Oh, these are working really well. Wow, that's great. Wow, this one has, oh, okay, I understand why. I need to, now the 2 stations are working well. All of the nozzles are like placed and set for what we want it to. Chris came back from filming, so he's taking care of his little pumpkin patch. So right now, to water the garden, it's just pulling 85 watts. And as you can tell right now, because I'm charging it with the 200 watt solar panel, it's getting 120 watts right now in to the battery. There are a few things over here that I want a bit different. So I'm just making a few changes. Oh, that's not gonna work. I think that this is going to be even easier next year because I have a better idea of what does well here, what doesn't do well here, and I can plant things closer together. I'll basically just have a much denser garden by eliminating the things that aren't growing well and planting more of the things that do. So hopefully next year the entire garden looks like that beautiful Three Sisters bed, and then it'll be easier, I think, to set up irrigation. I don't know, maybe not. Don't get ahead of yourself, Linnea. I think now is the final test. Start time, station 2. be 108 for 3 minutes. Okay, there goes station 1 for 3 minutes. This is station 1. Everything looks really, really good. All right, station 2 looks amazing. Everything is working really well. I am so happy that this works as well as it does. I didn't really have high hopes, but this is amazing. This is my first time setting up like a simple irrigation system, and now I have a better understanding and I can make it a little prettier next year. But everything is getting watered. Just shut off automatically. This is just amazing. Now, since everything is off of solar, I am very confident that my AC240 is going to stay charged. I'll keep the 200-watt solar panel in it. Now I can leave the property for, this cistern will probably last me at least 2 weeks. The last thing that I'm going to do off camera, I am going to set up a little house for my Blue Eddy and solar pump. My AC240 is rated IP65, so it is water resistant and dust proof, which is amazing for being out here. I really take advantage of that rating, but there are times in the afternoon where it is like full downpour. I don't want to ruin my bloody, so I do want to protect it from rain, and then my pump also needs to be protected from rain, but also both of them need to be able to breathe. All right, there is a wonderful video coming out next week, 8 a.m. on Sunday. So Akil and I will see you then. If you enjoyed this, feel free to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to keep seeing videos. I can't believe this is done. I'm so happy about it. That was quite the chore to get set up, but I'm really happy it's over now. A little over 6 months ago, is that right? About 9 months ago.
Oh. Damn.
I'm gonna f these flies up, man.
Oh, Akila.
Okay, what else do we have? I feel like really it's mostly you can just figure it out.
Your breath smells a little like poop. Did you eat some poop this morning? Why does your breath smell like poop?
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun.